Okay, so we have a study link here on one of my favorite topics, basketball, and here we are using percents to compare fractions. So first thing that we have to do here is we've got two teams. One is the varsity basketball team, and one is the junior varsity team. And we need to figure out which team has the better record. So the varsity basketball team won 8 of the 10 games it played. Can you put that into a fraction? They played 10 games, they won 8 of them. Hopefully you know that the fraction there is 8/10. And the junior varsity team won 6 games out of 8 games. What is that as a fraction? That as a fraction would be 6/8. And you could probably reduce those. So what is 8/10 reduced? We're dividing by 2 halves here. And that would give us 4/5. And what is 6/8 reduced? That would be 3/4. And you could probably know which of those is the larger fraction just from your fraction knowledge. However, why don't we put them into percents? So you can either do 8 divided by 10, or you could do 4 divided by 5, or you can multiply 8/10 times 10/10. But basically, when you do that, you're going to find out that this team won 8/10 of their games, or 80% of their games. And the question then would be, what percent of the junior varsity, what percent did they win? So you need to divide 3 by 4, or you might know 3/4 equals what percent. And then you're going to be able to say the blank team was better, or had a better record. Okay, and then next we're looking at players who were shooting. And so we have a chart here of how many shots did they make and how many shots did they miss. So player 2, they had 5 shots that they made, and they had 6 shots that they missed. So how many shots is that altogether? That would be 11. And then how many shots did they make? 5 out of 11. And then you could probably just use a calculator. And I see when I divide 5 by 11, the answer is 0.4545, blah, 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 which that rounds to 45%. Okay, and then this player 3, they made 3, they missed 0, so the total shots is 3 plus 0. And the shots they made, there were 3 for 3. So what's 3 divided by 3? Well, that is equal to 1, right? And 1 as a fraction, or as a decimal, is 100%. They didn't miss a single shot. They made every shot that they took, 3 out of 3. Next one, they made 9, they missed 2, so that would be 11 shots total, right? 9 plus 2. And then the fraction is 9/11. And can you divide 9 divided by 11? I'm getting, for that, 0.8181, on and on and on. And if I round that, it's going to go up. So I'm going to call this one 82%. And just continue to fill out that chart. Then the next question is, the basketball game is tied. Your team has the ball. There is only enough time for one more shot. Who do you think should shoot the ball? And why? You might want to start by thinking about who shouldn't shoot the ball. Let's start with player 1. Poor player 1 missed 12 times. They were only shooting 29%. We don't want them shooting the ball, right? Look at this player 8. They were just 1 for 2 shots. They're not a very experienced shooter. They only shot twice, so we probably don't want that person shooting that last shot. So I'm going to give them a red because they don't have enough shooting experience. There's a couple interesting ones to look at. Player 3 made 100% of their shots, right? But she only shot it 3 times, which is kind of low. Player 4 made 82% of her shots, and she made 9 out of 11, which seems pretty good. The other one you probably are going to consider once you finish filling this out, this player made more shots than anyone. They made 11 shots, so you'll have to see what is their shooting percentage. And then once you know that, you're going to have to decide who do you want to shoot, player 3, player 4, player 6. So I think player whatever should shoot because, and then what is the reason for that. Okay, and then we've got a little bit of fraction practice. Just remember to find a common denominator. I think we're pretty experienced at this by this point, but 1/3 and 1/6, what's your common denominator going to be? It will be 1/6. So 1/6 stays the same. What is 1/3 as 6? It would be 2/6. So the answer there is 3/6, and then you reduce it further to 1/2 for your answer. Looks like they're all following a pretty similar pattern. 3/4 and 1/2, you're going to have fourths as your common denominator. So fourths stays fourths. What is 1/2 as fourths? That would be 2/4, and don't forget to subtract there. And then, 7/10, 1/5, 1/5. So you're going to use tenths as your common denominator, and go ahead and do that last one as well. And yeah, that's it. This is StudyLink 9.6, using percents to compare fractions. And thank you so much for watching this video. Goodbye.